Man, I hate to say it, but this market already looks like straight butt this morning, guys. But all right. Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting into the opening. You just start consolidating straight away. So price actions look like I said horrible this morning. Excuse me. Like I said, just getting a few things set up before we get started. Yeah, I feel like we could possibly get a pullback. If the 20s and 17s holds, there's a lot of support in that area. We should be good. But if we lose those 17s, it's probably going to be back downtown. It's basically probably going to be back down to the bottom of the London session. So, kind of wouldn't mind seeing a push down into the 17s, whole number. There's a lot of support down in that area. Then maybe we'll get that rip back up. Oh, no. I'm not even sure if we're going to get a trade this morning, Alan. There's nothing worse than opening up and we're just kind of consolidating sideways. There's not even a clean leg this morning. So we'll just have to be patient. It might be one of those mornings you might have to wait about probably between like that 10 and 10:30 until we get some kind of like clean move where you get a nice clean move up with nice clean legs, then a nice pullback, then possibly look for an entry. But with the consolidating sideways, man, it's almost like which way are we going to break out when we open? Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing this when we're about to open. I like to see like we're already made a high, or we're about to make a low, or vice versa. Make a low, make a high, then wait for that first 15 minutes to kind of pull back into itself, then get the trade. Yeah, I guess we'll just, like I said, just give it a few. Hopefully, it'll shape up a few minutes into the market. It might be like I said, sometimes whenever it consolidates like this, you'll probably get one big move one way or the other to then pull fib on it, then look for like that 70 to 80% pullback. Man, I feel so stuffy today. All right. That's that one. Looking for my chats, guys. Give me a minute here. All right. Pop out. So, like I said, that 17 area is kind of my line in the sand, and that's all of this consolidation right here. But if we lose to 17, maybe that'll be a good sign for when we open. But unless we can lose that 17, just be careful if you're trying to short into that level, unless you're just kind of scalping. Just trying to get all my chats set up real quick. And I need to make sure all my pages are set on the right screen. Sometimes I'll have like 3 different screens up when I'm streaming, and I'll be streaming the wrong stuff. Oh goodness. All right. I think we're in business finally. I'm hoping that first trade we can knock out a funded trade fairly early and just kind of be done with the fundeds, then just concentrate on the evals the rest of the day. Just because this price action looks so choppy this morning, I don't feel like this is probably worthy for me to copy trade 3 or 4 counts across the board. So we're just going to do one funded this morning. So that's kind of what we're going to do instead of copy trading 3 or 4 accounts. It's just, I just don't believe the price action's that great. I think we have like CPI numbers or I don't know. I think we have fairly big news this week. So I don't know if this will be one of those weeks that we chop around. And I know they're still waiting on the Supreme Court's decision with the tariffs. And I don't think that's going to happen today. Kind of like everybody was anticipating Friday. But I don't think we have any really big news today. I think we have news. Yes. Okay. CPI is tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. So it could just be straight garbage today, guys. So I think that's what I'm not going to copy trade all my fundeds. I'm going to try to look for one trade on my fundeds, and it's either going to be a pass or fail and put it away for the day. Because I also have an eval that I need to work on that through Apex. It's one of those last. I need to see when I got to have it pass by because what is it? It renews at 50%, so I got to have it pass before it renews. We had a really good night trading last night. I want to say we broke $1,000 on our Perdeus account, at least on the one. The other one's still somewhere between 500 and 600. But the other one, we finally broke the $1,000 on it last night. Sundays is always a really good night to trade, guys. I mean, we had like, 200-300 point move last night. It was a crazy point move. I didn't stream, but I've already told everybody that comes to my lobbies where to go if you want that trade. Like, it's always there. Let me show you. And this almost, I swear this almost happens every Sunday with the PM stuff. What is this? I'm not really sure what happened there. We go in reverse. Okay. All right, here's the trading view charts. So here's the ICT kill zones. Here's us finding support below that previous Friday PM low. You can see we just tapped it over and over and over and over. And literally, once we lost that area, usually if we find support under that PM low, we do not come back. Sometimes we come back during the London session, but this is why I'm kind of possibly leading long this morning, just because sometimes I feel like whenever we lose some of these spots, we want to kind of go back and retest it. But it didn't happen in the London session. So it was a really good night of trading last night. I didn't stream, but most of you guys know that watch my evening. This is what I look for. Especially on Sunday nights. I either look for a loss of the New York PM from Friday, or most of the time you can look for a weekly opening gap. A lot of times if we open with a gap, most of the time we won't fill it in until like Monday or Tuesday. It'll just go up all night. Woo, this is some nasty price action, guys. Please be careful what your fund is today. It's almost like it might not even be worth trading your funded accounts today. You may have to wait for CPI numbers tomorrow. So, or it'll be one of those days where it's really garbage, since we had such big moves overnight that you won't get the move until after lunch. And that's usually a lot of times what happens. So let's see where we're at on this account that we're planning on trading. We're sitting right at 1150 at the moment. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. So, like I said, I would look for a pullback into the 17. If 17 holds, I think you're okay for the longs. If you're just, I don't know. Like I said, the price action looks like straight butt this morning. It is not very clean. It's going to be one of these deals where I'm going to have to just trade off support and resistance until we get some kind of cleaner action. I mean, this is like a nice little 5-minute trend line that we're building up. I just don't know how deep of or I don't know if this is going to be either a rollover for us to sell all the way back down to the London lows down at 634. Or if we can find support around the 700s, then go back out the top of all this resistance. But I think you would need to get above all this. It's almost like you would want to trade above this and find a little retest of this area. So it'll be kind of like one of these deals. See, like here's some resistance. You push up, pull back, retest the area. You want it to look like this. Push up, pull back, retest, then find a higher low, then look for a long. That's how I would look for it if you're looking for like some kind of structure instead of just jumping in. Let's see. I guess this would be on the backside where you hit the resistance, push down, retest the resistance, then sell. Or actually, this one's cleaner. This one's as much. You broke the resistance, push back in the resistance. Well, shoot, it pushed back up on that one. Like I said, if you're gonna look for longs, I'd wait for us to get above the resistance. So what we could do is we just made a new low. So if this here can push back up here, then pull back into this zone, that's where we'll look for a long. Ugh. So, guys, if you're just joining us, CPI numbers are tomorrow. So, a lot of times we're super choppy leading up to like CPI or Papa Powell, or if there's some kind of major decision going on, usually the day before, super choppy. Another reason that we could be super choppy today is that we made such big moves in the Asia London session. A lot of times the New York session consolidates. So that's kind of where you get that saying where usually the Asia market is the consolidation, the London is the manipulation, and then the New York session, you get the big move. But today, I don't know if it's going to be like that, like I said, because we sold off all night. We did make a new low. I mean, that's a plus. And that 17 can hold here. Maybe the 17 will hold, get like a pushback. Like I said, this price action is not clean this morning. This price action looks like straight garbage this morning. I mean, we hardly ever get this kind of consolidation leading into the opening. Usually you get a lot more like structure from the London session, like a nice little higher low that you could use. So we are definitely not going to be copy trading our accounts this morning unless it looks cleaner in a little bit. So a lot of times what we do is we'll copy trade like 3 or 4 funded accounts. But today we're just going to do one. All right, guys, less than 2 minutes before the market opens. Didn't quite hit that 17. We bounced off the previous day open here. So like I said, just one funded account, one funded trade. Ooh. I wouldn't mind this being our low, make a high, then pull back. Then pull back, find support, then look for a long out of this. To me, I feel like that's the best of the move if I had a choice. So push up here to like 375, 790. Have this be your low. Then have us pull back into resistance for support. So that's kind of what I'm going to look for. Be get situated just in case. All right. Just in case it pulls back. If it don't pull back into that 15 minutes, we'll close it. I don't want to get tagged in up here. You need to see a pullback to the 50s here. I'll have to close this because I can't get tagged in. We have to wait for some kind of pullback here. I just don't want to get left behind with the pullback. Man, straight up 5-minute candle. Wow. So far, guys, just a straight up boner candle on the 5 minutes. Man, there's still like 3 minutes left on this 5 minute candle. Ooh, straight to the moon. We got the previous day close sitting at 931. So there's still that possible setup, guys. You just got to be patient and wait on it. So basically what we're going to do is we're still going to be looking for us to pull back into this area. Uh-oh, sorry about that. I actually hit my lights. Dude, this thing just went. It's crazy that we just went straight up, guys. Not even no little, just like let me just mosey it up here. It's just like just straight to the moon here. But I still think that we'll get the pullback here. We almost always do. You just got to be patient and wait. All right. We're about to have a new candle. What's up, Fish Lips? Dude, this thing just blasted off this morning, Fish Lips. I'm waiting for some kind of pullback here. Hopefully the next candle will give us a little pullback. Kind of clean up some of these levels back down through here. You caught most of it? Nice. Good morning, Wall Street. Now, I may like the long here if this next candle is like a small kind of wicky candle. Sometimes you'll get that type of price action where it'll move up, kind of wick down, wick back and forth, and kind of create a small body. Yeah, if you can't sell back into this area, it's probably going to continue higher. I want to say 907 is where we open up a lot last night, so it could be a nice pullback off of that previous day close. Was that the 90 hit? I think that was the 90 hit. Probably 88. A lot of times, so this is why we never trade up into the 88, 90. So you got to be careful when taking that first trade into those levels. Could also get a nice bounce up there around the 907s today. So it could be like a nice 900 pullback here if you're looking for like maybe a quick 10 points. For anybody that likes to scalp. Unfortunately, there's not really anything for me to do unless I may scalp the 907 area here and just look for like a 10-point move. So and a lot of times what I do when I do this is I'll kind of come in from the backside in case it blasts that area. And plus that'll be kind of like a trade off the 900 here. Put that way down there. We don't want to get some crazy, mysterious, like boner candle. Yeah. All right. So that would be your first actual 90 hit there. And I actually paid 10 points too. But like I said, there's a lot of resistance up here around the 9, 10, and 11. If we take this, it's just going to be for 10 points only, guys. I usually don't ever set resting orders on this stuff. A lot of times it's kind of like orders from the backside. Well, I haven't done the 90 scalping. I know we always get a lot of reaction around the 90. So a lot of times it'll go like this. It'll go 90 reaction, 900 reaction, 910 reaction. So the way it usually works is you hit the 900s. Most of the time you'll pull back to the between the 80s and 70s. Then it'll push back up through, hit the 910, and the 910 will push back to the 90s. And then you look for a long heading to the top side. But most of this stuff I usually do on an eval. I usually don't do this with a funded, but we are going to look for a funded trade off that 900 level. Is we kind of want to see it go up there and hit like the 905s, 907s. Either that one or we also got the previous day close sitting up here at 931. And we'll go to break even fairly quick also, guys. As soon as we got some kind of wick or something that we can put our stop loss at, that's what we'll put our stop loss at. Come on. So the reason why I do it like this, it helps me minimize my losses or how much I lose. Because you don't want to, I don't like putting resting. Reason why I don't put resting orders in, even though I want to short the 900, you don't want to put it there and it blast and you just, have no idea where it's going to go. This way I can kind of get an idea about where the stop loss is going to be at and how much we got to risk. So this way I can risk hopefully less than 10-point trade, 10 points on this trade. Now I will still take this trade on another account if this one fails, if we pull back into that 15 minutes. Man, Fish Lips, you're probably eating up the 50 and 75 touches right now, aren't you? I have another page I'll set to the side to practice at today. Actually, I may do that now. With the sim account. All right. So this could come back and clean up all these whole numbers here, guys. So we're going to take our order off. We don't want to be stuck in that by mistake. Just getting that set up just in case we do get the pullback. Did anybody else catch the move up this morning? Did anybody jump into that? We did not jump in it, guys. We kind of sat on the sidelines. So you're long from 50, right? Fish lips. Oh, short. Well, why not? For some reason, because I was going to practice it on the side with the sim account, but it won't let me enter. Is anybody having any issues with this morning? Yeah, I definitely wanted to short that 900 this morning. That's what I'm gonna take on my funded account in a second. Hopefully, there's not no issues. Nobody's having issues with Bulinox or anything, are they? Well, why did it take me? Nine ten will be my line in the sand here. Son of a bitch. Fuck. Might have got caught in a crappy trade. See if I can get saved by the previous day closed here. Son of a bitch. Ah, I didn't. I should have added into it. like I said, this if it comes back up and stops us out, it just stops us out. All right, I'm just going to have to play to 15. This way, if it stops us out, it just stops us out because I don't really want to be risking that much as I did. Yeah, it looks like it's about to get us. Yeah. Come on. Dude, any other day, this damn thing would go all the way back to 90. Oh, shit. Yeah, it hit the 925. I almost feel like the previous day was probably my safer hit. Since we didn't really get our funded setup this morning, this would have been our funded setup back in this area here. Yeah, it's probably going to hit me, then go back down to my freaking take profit. Forgot to log out of that account. That's going to be dirty there, guys. If that thing goes back and hit 85. It did. Son of a man, this is fucking crazy. Oh, that irritates me. At least got back to our entry. Yeah, we were looking for 85 to get hit. Man. Should have gave it one more little test there. That there was just looking for like a little 10-point trade. That wasn't the level to level fish lips. All right, that's probably gonna be the last of my scalping day. Looking for like levels off bounces. We did not get our funded trade setup today. So the funded trade setup that I usually look for is whenever we push up, trade back into our 15 minutes and kind of and blast out. We also have a previous day close sitting at 31 for. I've taken those in the past. I haven't really been taking those lately, so I'm not sure how well they've been working. Goodness. What's up, Patrick? How are you doing? So far we're red on one account. We've taken one trade. We were looking for like a little 10-point scalp this morning off the whole number. What did that get to? Back to the 90. So it did trade back to the 90. Didn't get back to the 95. I mean the 85. Yeah, once it traded back and hit that 90, that would probably be my sign to close the trade, or at least or take profit, or take some profit off or something. Where's your? Are you short from the 900s, Matt? Well, shoot, you're back up 10 points. At least they gave you an out if you didn't like the trade. That was probably your out if you didn't like the trade. We actually got two outs because on this one we done traded back to the 90 once, then it almost pushed back down there again to the 90s. All right, get another entry. I mean, another opportunity to take profit. We're probably going to hit my target. That's what's going to be really annoying, that 85. But if you can get out of this around the 90, at least take most of your leverage off. That's what I would probably do just in case that 90 holds up. Close break even. Okay, nice. I'd rather have a break even trade than a red trade like I just had. I'd have a new 5-minute candle here. Yeah, I was hoping that 907.9 area would hold since we had so much support there last night. Sometimes it's just better to take your small loss or whatever loss you have for how much profit you want to risk. Look at that, man. You son of a bee. Now that we're out of it, it's gonna go, Matt. That's how it goes. Oh my goodness. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Son of a bee. There's the reaction we were looking for a while ago when we hit that 900, 910 for the first time. You went in. I'm not going to re-enter. I'd just sit and watch. At least not for a short. I may consider maybe a long up to the previous day close, but I'm not going to try a short. That would have been like a 75 pullback there. That sucks, guys. Nice if you're still somewhat holding that for some profit. There's the 50, 60% pullback. So what you're hoping for is this just a second leg on the pullback. So here's your first pullback leg, and you want this to be your second. What was your target? You went in with one micro, Matt. What are you looking for? 800. Ooh, that's a long ways down. Heading back into that whole number. Yeah, the 50 wouldn't be a bad target. Yeah, this is also your inside bar right here too. But man, your stop loss has to be so big. That's not an inside bar. Oh, this was the inside bar. I'm sorry. This was the inside bar. I don't have it on, so I didn't have it marked out. So this is actually would have been your inside bar right here. Where do you got your stop loss at, Matt? Or do you play with a stop loss, or do you add in, or how do you do your stop loss? Do you just have it up here at the top of the swing? 9:30. Okay. Like I said, guys, nothing really to do here but just kind of be patient and wait. This is usually the worst whenever you get that really big move at the beginning of the market, then the next hour just kind of consolidates and trades sideways. Fish Lips, are you still looking for a long off the 50 or are you short into the 50? All right, another test of the 900 here. Eh. All right, about to have a new candle. Got a nice swing. You would think that we'd want to make a high, make a run up here to the 30s. Oh, there's a 1 hour fair value gap here. Let's see. Mm. Am I? Oh. Oh, that shit. I didn't realize we were that close to having a candle print. All right, about to have a new candle here. It's something going on. My stuff is not working correctly. For some reason, my timer is stuck. Ooh, it's going to have to probably be the last trade here, guys. Back to back losses. This is like a time I done try to long that 9. What it is, we're looking for us to hit that previous day close up there. Yeah. Son of a bitch. Ugh. All right. So that'll be the last of the funded trades today. So I don't get myself into any more trouble. It has not been a good day for me today, guys. What's up, Kingston? How are you doing today? I don't know how much of a gig. I think it's just a kind of a little fill in this morning. Man, back at the 900 level again. I'm break even at 900. We're trading the NQ. We'll kind of wait and see what happens with this previous day close here. You might be able to get a little entry off of that. If I do take it, it's probably just going to be an eval because we're probably going to have to be done trading funders today after taking back-to-back losses. It's like we just had that big move out of the gate. Now we're just been kind of chopping the rest of the morning. We're trading minis, Kingston. We've been kind of messing around. Good morning, Outer. We've been kind of messing around with a little sim account off screen. Someone said there was a 1 hour fair value gap in here. I thought that last push that we were long from 900s that we would get like the 925, 930 push. I know. I probably should have stayed that route today, Outer. I didn't even really have any setups. I was just trying to take some scalp trades, and every single one of them have just wrecked me. But that's what I get for not taking setups or taking the pullbacks, and it's just, like I said, just one of those days. Hopefully we can regroup tomorrow and kind of get back into the rhythm. May get that, like I said, that 31 touch here. From the previous day open or close. Kind of want to see a little wick through it. That hit it. I was waiting for like kind of us to wick through it, but we didn't get the wick through there. See if we push back up into that area one more time. All right, just kind of wick through there one more time. Wow. It did pay your 10 points off of there. And that was the previous day close that we had marked out there. Might get another 800 touch here before we move back up. Man, actually might get a decent pullback here. A lot of times whenever we run these resistance, you'll see like a nice little pullback. Still got about, yeah, that's what I was talking about. My stuff wasn't working correctly because my timer wasn't working correctly. There's stuff in the box here. Right now, guys, we're just kind of sitting on the sideline. The previous day close was kind of a banger. It paid almost 20 points, guys. It's crazy how often that works, the previous day close. I mean, it's got a 70-80% win rate. You just don't get it every day. Also, the inside bar paid this morning too. So this was your inside bar here. It paid every bit of 20 points today. Good morning, Solo. Sorry about that. We do have a CPI tomorrow. Ooh. The previous day closing's already paid 30. Son of a B, man. I can't believe I just couldn't pull the trigger. I guess after those back-to-back losses, I didn't know how much I'd trade. Yeah, we've had back-to-back like losses this morning, Solo. They're losses because I didn't really have my stop loss where it needs to be because I just wasn't sure. I was kind of unsure about how high we were. But they both should have been winning trades, but like I said, just didn't have my stop loss where they need to be. Because I was short at 900 earlier in this candle here. We got short on this candle, but I did not want to risk more than the 15, 20 points and ended up basically going back to the 77. Oh, it's just been one of those days, I guess. So that was a 50% pullback for this previous leg here. So if we're going to continue higher, more likely it's going to pull back into the 60 to 70% for us to continue higher this morning. Man. You said 838's the mid. Okay, so you're thinking we can sell back down to 838 because of the 50%. There's your 60% at the 90. I would have to wait for a new candle here. Still got a minute left on this candle. Basically, if it's going to stay bearish and we can make a run back there to the 845s were the 21 EMA. You would want to pull fib on this candle and make sure it doesn't pull back like 20 or 30%. $30 seconds left on this candle. Got 10 seconds. Ooh, some nice rejection off that 75, 77 area. Really don't want to see this candle go too much farther back into the Fibonacci. So that's usually kind of a scary when it does that. Yeah. Another 900 retest. That's 50. Usually if it breaks over 50%, it's probably going back up. Yeah. So more likely we're probably going back up there to the highs again. Yeah. Yeah, once it starts breaking over that 30, 40, 50%, usually that's just a trap candle. Well, Fishless, I thought we would at least get that 75 touch on that candle. This could be just one of those kind of like little middle candles. Then we'll just have to just kind of wait for that next candle to see which way we're going to break out. We got 1 minute left on this candle. All right, 30 seconds left for this candle. Ten seconds. Kind of just stuck in the middle here. Maybe it's gonna sell off. It's gonna be a fake out. Oh man, this thing's just he's just ripping back and forth, guys. Oh goodness. Yeah, I know. I've done that too, solo. That happened to me. Got denied after the payout for that 30% rule. Yeah, it's been a very tough day today, Matt. Like, so besides that one big move this morning. I know I'm just kind of just sitting here just waiting, man. There's not really anything to do. We're just kind of staying with inside the leg. I mean, this is the same part that we got stuck at last night. Yeah, you have to trade for like 5 or 6 more days solo. Make $50 a day. I think you only got to do 6. What's up, man? How are you doing today? Yeah, yeah. Come on, give me some flip days, solo. Yeah, they're 8 days for a payout. There's another guy in the lobby, Matt. He broke the consistency rule, so he has to trade for another 8 days. See, I wonder if we make a new low here. So we still got a minute left on this 5-minute candle. No, we're not in a trade. We're just kind of sitting on the sideline at the moment. I was trading a sim account off to the side over here because I've been practicing the whole number trades. But I don't know how great I'm doing at that either. All right, 40 seconds left for this new candle. Look at that. There's that nastiness right there, man. You think that you're going to get a nice clean candle and it rejects. Holy crap, man. Oh, you're over there trading silver? I thought that we would get a nice looking clean candle here, but man, this thing just rejected freaking 25 points off. Yeah, just pretty much after this big move that we had up, we pretty much just been kind of just stuck in this range. Yeah, I've been trying to watch that today. I think I almost need to go back and like trade it off to the side or look at it like during the like do back testing on it so it's not so distracting for me because I keep focusing on that whole number hit up. So this guy at Fish Slips in our lobby that trades the whole numbers. So basically what he does is he trades between like, you know, if it hits the 900s, he shorts it back to the 75 if I'm not mistaken. Then he waits for the 50 pullback to hit to the 75. I think similar, something like that. Not, oh yeah. That's the only. See, I thought that we were going to get this type of price action all morning. I did not anticipate a freaking what 150, 100, 200 point freaking boner candle straight up without any kind of pullback. Outer, I think I missed my short setup up there. Matt, you do got this little bitty fair value gap. Here, this is on the 5-minute. I'm not sure what outer what time frame are you on? It might look a little better on a different time frame, but on the 5 minutes, there's not really much left to it. But I mean, you do got a high, you got a low. Then I think if you pull fib on this whole leg, it's probably back into the 60 to 70% pullback. 1 minute time frame. What's up, Mr. Same? How are you doing? So we're going to be red on our Bewley funded today. So we're still in the green. I think we're still in the green somewhere between $700 and $800, but we lost a few $100s on that one this morning. That was the one that we took at the 900 test this morning, which I have been super aggressive with that account. So, because I'm trying to get used to being more aggressive with my fundeds instead of just tiptoeing around with them. But that's my only one that we've been somewhat aggressive with. Oh, do I not got? I thought it didn't start till 11:30 methodical. I thought I was gonna get off here at 10. If that's okay. Or 11, I guess. 11 my time. Oh. All right, guys. I have to call Methodical Man because I was supposed to sub for him today on my funded futures. So I knew he had an appointment, but I thought I had a little bit. Thank you guys for watching today. We'll be back maybe power hour or later tonight. Thank you guys. Good luck on your trade outer if you you make that.